Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, for giving us this truth. Double honor to all the elders, teaching in the four corners of the earth, teaching in truth and sincerity. To you, I say shalom. Brother Khan from the set of the Lions of Judah, Joshua here in Chicago. To you, I say shalom. Coming at y'all with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. The title of this video is going to be titled, "The Native American Indians and the Latinos are Israelites as well." Not just Judah, not just you African Americans, but they are Israelites as well. All right, starting off in this book, Nation Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, page 204. The Indians and the Negroes marry without any scruple. G. Kathleen, authority on the Indians, says they welcome fugitive slaves, he says, as they came with a good share of the tricks and arts of civilization. They are at once looked upon by the tribes as extraordinary and important personage, and generally marry the daughters of chiefs, thus uniting theirs with the best blood of the nation, which produced these remarkable and fine and powerful men that I have spoken of above. All right. So if the daughters of the chiefs was taking Negroes, then that way, by default, they would be Israelites of the tribe of Judah. All right. In this particular passage right here, it says Negro and North American Indians or Indian mix of equal blood. So you are what your father is. So if that was happening, then these particular Native American Indians will be Israelites, and they will be from the tribe of Judah. All right. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they may there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. Verse 43, and they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For though that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and that same region is called Arsareth. All right, so that's how they came to the Americas. Starting off in this book, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders, page 187, dealing with the 10 tribes, the Native American Indians and Latinos. It says, at first, this tendency appears only as a fervent search for Jewish analogies provoked by Aztec customs, such as the eating of only unleavened bread on certain days. What do that sound like? The Passover, all right, of the year, the prohibition of drinking liquids. Now, what is that? Beer, all right, drinking anything, any liquors with yeast in there. After the eating of certain ritual foods, as the use of baths for purification, at the time this began to seem to Durant like overwhelming evidence that the Indians are indeed descendant from the lost tribes of Israel. All right. So there you have it. So now let's go to another page. 219. It said Drake's alliance with these communities of escaped blacks and Indians and their crossbred children living in the forests of the Itzma, inherited by him from French captains still influenced in the area. So it says Negroes, which is the tribe of Judah, all right, and the Indians, man, which is the 10 tribes. So you see a relationship with the Negroes and Latinos right here, man. All right. It says great cleverness. It says great cleverness on his part, since no other people at once knew the countryside so well and hated Spaniards so thoroughly. So what? The Negroes and Latinos, man, they hated the Spaniards. Okay? Page 364 of the same book. And it reads, the woman got off and spoke to Francisco in the Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they arose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Elohinu, Adonai, Ehud. Hear, O Israel, the Lord, our God, is one Lord. They have recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism. All right, so really in the ancient Hebrew, it's supposed to be saying Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh Akkad. All right, so, you know, these Edomites put the modern Hebrew in there. But this is proof that they are what? Israelites, man. The 10 tribes are Israelites, all right? And it reads, they told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby. Now, who is the tribe of Joseph? The Puerto Ricans, man. All right? That's the tribe of Joseph. All right, Puerto Rico. So this is proof, all right? And we all know this proof, but we revisiting it because you got a lot of clowns in Israel that say that the Native American Indians and the Latinos are not Israelites. But we have accounts of them having crossbred children, which the man carries the seed, you are what your father is. And we have document proof that these things were happening, all right? So this is the book of Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Deuteronomy 6 and 4. All right, going back to what they said in the ancient Hebrew, Deuteronomy 6 and 4, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. All right, so that's Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh Akkad. All right. Now going into this book, Origins of the American Indians by Lee E. Huddleston, page 88, dealing with the Mexicans. And it reads, the Mexicans are originally of the 10 tribes captured by Salmanazar and of the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognize as their special ancestor. So the Mexicans are from the tribe of what? Issachar. Now, the deeper you go in Mexico, the darker the Mexicans get, especially around Guerrero, Mexico. It's the book of Genesis 49, verse 14. Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens. Verse 15. He saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulders to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. All right, so Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens. Those two burdens is North America and South America, because Mexico is in between those two countries. And it said he saw that the land was pleasant. What land is that? Symbolically, that's Babylon, America. That's why a lot of them come over here. And it says that he became a servant to tribute. So a lot of them take up most of the jobs when they come over here. All right. So going back into this book, Origins of the American Indians, page 5, dealing with the Native Americans. And it reads July 18th, 1500, year 1500. It says, he reported that the Indians were beardless, brown, naked, and cannibal, which is a lie. They were not cannibal, all right? Esau was the cannibal, all right? And that they had various languages, and one of them was what? Hebrew, okay? So how could they be cannibal when they knew the land and they were eating buffalo, man? Get out of here, Esau, with all that. All right, so dealing with the tribe of Judah, page 8. Page 8, once again, dealing with the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes, and it reads, Negroes on the Atlantic coast of Panama, he attributed to Balboa the proselyte that an Ethiopian raiding party was shipwrecked in Panama, thus accounting for the Negroes now there. All right, so it said an Ethiopian raiding party, right? So it's called in what? The tribe of Judah, Ethiopians. Let's see if the scriptures agree with that. All right, this is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 7. Are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, have not I brought up Israel out of the land of Egypt? So the Israelites was always mistaken for being what? Ethiopian. And this is proof that the Negroes was here, all right, in America before, even before slavery, man. Some of the brothers was over here, man. All right. So this is proof that black people was in America, you know what I'm saying, way before Columbus none. All right. This is the proof that you need right here. All right. So with that, I hope this video was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, as a whole, you are the Israelites according to the Bible. Okay. And this information cannot be refuted. So with that, I bid you a shalom.